We are looking for longevulin synthesis, different longevulin synthesis. We know that there are total 9 longevulin synthesis, out of which we saw 2 synthesis. For that we have done retrosynthesis in the first step, and we obtain the starting compound, that is Wieland-Michel ketone. And from Wieland-Michel ketone we have done 2 synthesis already. First synthesis is designed by E.J. Corey and co-workers. Second synthesis that was prepared by McMurray and Iser. These are the 2 scientists who discovered the second synthesis from Wieland-Michel ketone. And third synthesis that we have to plan, that can be given, that is given by S. Karimi and P. Tavres. So this synthesis, the starting compound for this synthesis is also Wieland-Michel ketone. So see step by step how the steps are obtained from Wieland-Michel ketone to obtain the longevulin molecule. We have CS3. So I have written Wieland-Michel ketone in this form. So this is Wieland-Michel ketone. Now this Wieland-Michel ketone, in the first step we have used the reagent H2 palladium in presence of carbon catalyst. So H2 palladium in presence of carbon catalyst, this is the first reagent we have used. We know the function of this first reagent. Second is the lithium diisopropylamide LDA as a base in presence of trimethyl selenium chloride TMSCl. And in the third step we have used NBS, N-bromosuccinamide. N-bromosuccinamide. So what is the role of this first reagent? Role is reduction of carbon-carbon double bond. That's the role of this reagent. Second is used as a base, which removes the proton from this side. So proton removal gives rise to formation of formation of enol. Now enol is the silyl enol ether. We obtain silyl enol ether. So that silyl enol is obtained by using this. And third reagent that we have used, NBS. NBS is for N-bromosuccinamide for bromination at allylic position, not really in allylic position. In the second case where we have to see the transannular effect. So for bromination. So these 3 reagents and 3 roles are there. Their roles are mentioned here. So from this we obtain the compound here compound this carbonyl group as it is. Now bromination takes place at this place by the transannular effect. Here transannular effect and N-bromosuccinamide bromination is there, and this bromination occur at this stage. CS3 remains as it is. So this is the product we obtain, that is bromination, dibromo compound obtained by using these reagents. So dibromo compound obtained in this case. Now the second step we have used DBU. DBU is the reagent. It is actually complexing agent. What is the name of this compound actually? 1,8-diazar bicyclo 5,4,0 undic 7-en. So this is actually complexing agent, which complexing agent, and the tricyclic compound obtained, which is actually complexing step in this step. The tricyclic compound obtained from this bicyclic compound. So see the structure of this tricyclic compound obtained in this case. CS3 here, this double bond here, and one Br removed in the process, and another Br remains valence is here. So in this case, this carbonyl group is here. So this carbonyl group, now this compound obtained by using this complexing reagent. This is 1,8-diazobicyclo 540 andic 7-en. So this is complexing agent. This complexing agent is used to form 2-member ring to 3-member ring, to convert 2-member ring to 3-member ring. Now at this stage, you have to add some other reagent. So these reagents have role towards the synthesis of longipolline. So we have to use reagents which expands this ring. We have to expand this ring because one carbon atom is less than the longipolline structure. So in order to make it longipolline structure, we have to add one carbon atom, so that we have to expand this ring. So in order to expand this ring, we have to add some reagent which expands this ring. So to expand this ring, we use TMSCl, trimethylsilyl chloride, in presence of Et3N. This is the first reagent we have used. And second reagent we have to use is the CH2I in presence of Et2Zn. CH3I in presence of Et2Zn. So actually this is this form CH2I forms the carbon species. So that carbon species interact with double bond form here. So that carbon species actually react and form the 3-member species, which is called cyclopropane ring. So cyclopropane ring form here. Now this cyclopropane ring form is broken by using the reagent, that is FeCl3. It is also the complexing agent. So that complexing agent convert it into 3-member ring. Convert or break the 3-member ring. So what is the structural product obtained? We obtained structural product here, C. This carbonyl group remains as it is. This CH3 remains as it is. This Br here, and the carbonyl group is there. So here Cl group is there. Now this ring expansion takes place. Now how this ring expansion takes place? The process for the ring expansion is here. See the process here. In this case, what happened? This double bond O. I am explaining this one. So this C double bond O and this bond. Now what happened with TMSCl and Et3N is used as a base. So it removes the proton, the base removes the proton, and now this attacks on TMSCl. So TMSCl is there. So what happened here? O TMS, and now this double bond is formed here. Double bond formed, and when this double bond interact with this carbene species, that is from this one carbene species formation takes place, CH2I. So that carbene species interact with this and forms, see this O TMS, and here CH3. So this species form this cyclopropane ring form, and that cyclopropane ring broken by using this complex FeCl3 is used as a complexing reagent, and this ring broken, but that ring must be broken by using the reagent. That reagent is given here to Cl. So Cl attachment is there. So in this case, what happened? We obtain again double bond O, expansion of this ring, and here Cl attachment. So that is the product we obtain here. That is the product obtained via carbene intermediate. So this one is the base and enol formation. For this one, this is used as a base, and for enol formation, this is carbene formation for cyclopropane ring formation. Cyclopropane ring formation, and this one is the FeCl3, which is used for ring breaking of for the cyclopropane. So cyclopropane ring broken here with the help of FeCl3 complexing reagent. So that complexing reagent gives rise to this structure. Now at this stage we are adding some other reagents. That is, first we have added NaOAC, sodium acetate. Now this sodium acetate is used here. That sodium acetate gives rise to the product where it acts as a base. You know that if it is a base, then it attacks. So it acts as a base here. Removal of base Cl. So double bond formation here, and that double bond is reduced by using reagent H2 palladium in presence of carbon as a catalyst. That double bond is reduced, and again in third stage we have used tertiary butyl tributyl hydride. This removes this Br group by the action of reduction. So what is the ultimate product? So ultimate product of the reaction is the double bond O remains as it is. This double bond form, but this can be reduced by using this reagent. This Br is removed from here, and hydrogen attachment is there by using tributylene hydride. This CH3 remains as it is, and this C double bond O is there. Now these products obtained. Now from this product we have to move towards longifilin structure of longifilin. So here the role, it acts as a base, it acts as a reduction of carbon-carbon double bond, and here tributylene removal of Br. Actually it occurs with the free radical mechanism. So this product obtained here. Now at this stage we have to add some other reagent one step forward towards the longipolline molecule. At this stage we have to use the reagent phosphorus ylide. That's we call it Wittig reagent. So Wittig reagent we have used. So that Wittig reagent gives rise to carbon-carbon double bond into CH2. Only less substituted double bond is converted into CH2 here. Now at this stage we have to again use the reagent. First reagent CH2I in presence of Pg2Zn. So this is complexing agent again by carbene. This carbene interact with the carbon-carbon double bond, and it forms cyclopropane ring. And that cyclopropane ring is broken by using reagent H3Pg. So that we obtain here CH3CH3. Double bond O. CH3CH3 is the reagent. In this step we saw that CH3CH3 above skeleton we have maintained, but now at this stage we have to form the next skeleton. So what is actually, see the structure of longipolline here, how the longipolline looks like, and what changes that we have to make. In order to CH2 group is here, CH3, and then CH3 group is here. So this is actually the structure of longipolline. So at this stage, see the structure of longipholin. So what changes we have made here? That this skeleton is ready. Now we have to change this one. We have to change this one so that we can obtain the CH3Li. Now CH3Li is the base here. So that base in the first step, CH3Li acts as a base. So that base removes proton from the active site. So that proton removes proton from active site. For this purpose, first SOCl2 is used. So that SOCl2 is used. So here at this stage, SOCl and this SOCl2. SOCl. Now at this stage, removal of one of the Cl minus, so that the base removes proton. Now this base CH3Li removes proton, and we get the shifting of this bond towards this one. So how it's somewhat complex structure looking like, but see how this bond transformation took place. This CH2, this hydrogen removed by the base, so that this hydrogen removed by the base. So this base CH3Li is used here. When this hydrogen removed, the CH3 bond, the bond shifted here to this CH2, and due to this bond, look carefully, this bond removed from here. So we get structure. See here, we look it better in this structure. See here, CH3, this CH3, this CH2, CH2, then CH2, again one CH2, and it joins here. So it joins here. So we get here OSOCl. Okay, OSOCl, and now this CH2 is from this carbon. So double bond CH2 is here. So we look, the structure looks like this. So we get. So from this, see here, CH3Li, second mole of CH3Li. So now it acts as a nucleophile, so that the substitution reaction took place. So OC, SOCl remove, and CH3 attachment is there, and we get the structure of longipholin here. So here two reagents we have used. First, it acts as a base, and in the second stage, it acts as a nucleophile. It acts as a base. Second, it acts as a nucleophile. So nucleophile we obtain, and SOCl2 is converted into good living group. So good living group conversion here. So SOCl2 it converts into good living group. So this is the synthesis by S. Karimi and P. Tawris, where we obtain the structure of longipholin. There are reagents I have mentioned, and also the roles of these reagents. So roles of these reagents gives rise to the structure of longipholin from Wieland-Nischer ketone. So first three synthesis from Wieland-Nischer ketone. We first saw in some lectures we saw the Wieland-Nischer ketone, how it obtained by retrosynthesis, and from it we obtained three synthesis. First synthesis by E.J. Corey and co-workers, second by McMurray and Isel, and third synthesis S. Karimi and Tawris. So from Wieland-Nischer ketone we obtained these three synthesis. Now fourth synthesis, for which the reactant molecule is different, substrate is different, and for that purpose we have to again make retrosynthesis in different way. So here on Wieland-Nischer ketone three syntheses are dependent, and in the next that we have to obtain by retrosynthesis. That is